Welcome to the Directors Club podcast, the podcast that helps you learn the business skills you need as a child care center director to build enrollment, retain your best teachers, and get your center operating just how you want it. I'm Noelle Dentino. I'm a fellow child care center owner and active director with my sister Sarah. We operate a successful child care center in Massachusetts. By merging my background in business with Sarah's background in early education, we found the perfect recipe for a successful center. The Directors Club podcast will provide you with simple business tips to help you get things done at your child care center. Episode number 10, the Monday morning meeting. Hey there, it's Noelle from the Directors Club. I am home on vacation. And it's not really vacation. It's cleaning my house because I wasn't around this summer. We did a big renovation at my childcare center. We doubled the capacity of the enrollment. We were at half enrollment because of COVID. So now we're back at full. I had to hire 14 teachers and leaders too, not just anybody. I've had a lot going on and I let my house go and I need a break. I need to wake up and have a cup of coffee at home and not have to run out. So I'm home this week, and one of the things I wanted to do was record some podcasts. And I was like, I'm going to do this on Thursday. Today is Thursday. I don't know what day it is when you're going to hear this, but I'm going to record them because I've written them this week. And no one left the house until 11 o'clock. Irritating. I'm like, I just want to be alone today. Us working mothers, once in a while, just want to be alone in my house. All right, so today I'm going to be sharing with you the Monday morning meeting. I do 2 things each week, one on Sunday and one on Monday, that sets my plan for the week. And it's how I get things done at my child care center and in my life, and how I create these podcasts and run the Directors Club and run my child care center so I can do both. This is something that I do with my team. And if you do not have a team in your leadership office, you do this with yourself. So let's get into this. I've been in child care for 17 years. And before that, I was a manager of a business administration in the corporate executive bank for Fleet, which is now Bank of America. And I had many great experiences with different leaders in the company. I feel so blessed to have been in that role and worked with such talent in different areas like finance and talent in human resources and just talent within the organization. I felt so lucky. And one executive that I worked with who was high maintenance, loved it though. I loved it because he taught me so much. Some of the things that he taught me was how to set annual goals for company. I finally got to see a leader get handed a group of goals for his division, and then he had to execute them. And then we had to somehow exceed them too. That was part of the plan as well. So we can all sit back and just operate our day-to-day things at our child care center. And once in a while, squeeze in something to improve, either because you're under fire. Let's say you have to hire people and you haven't written a new job ad in a long time. So you're like under fire to do it. Instead of in January, you're like, this year I'm going to improve my hiring plan. And then every week do a little bit of something to get yourself there. So some people just fly by the seat of their pants living in the day-to-day, and it works for some people, but other people, your center's really not going to move forward or perform at the highest quality that it possibly can, so that you get less stressed and you have a system that's working and you don't have to keep doing all these fire drills. So I'm someone that, because of him, I make a list of goals that I want to achieve, and I make the time to work towards achieving them. In the business world, as presidents and CEOs of our child care centers, this is called strategic planning. So when you hear that's what this is. You set the plan of the goals you want to reach, financial, administrative, people, whatever. My goals this year for my center were I wanted to do a complete inside renovation. 17 years old, the cabinets were completely showing it, and so was the furniture. I have 3 storage rooms. I want to reorganize them more efficiently. I don't feel like they're efficient, and it's irritating me. Oh my God, my computer files. Like, we've had so many people work on the leadership team in the office, And we have so many files, and I want to move them. We want to be more organized with those. So that's a plan. I wanted to improve my teacher onboarding and retention, and I've completed that already. And I completed the inside renovation, and I'm almost done with the storage area. Computer files, haven't touched it yet. I want to create outdoor classrooms, which I have just done. I want to evaluate and take action on the curriculum, which I'm just starting. And we want to do an outside renovation, so we're planning that right now. I know that when I set those goals in January, if I didn't do something and take action on those goals in January, I'm not going to realize them like out of nowhere, like it's, September 30th, and I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm going to start a renovation today and get it done like by the end of the year. You have to plan that out. You plan all this out. The executive I worked with then taught me a habit that I do personally. So I do this on Sundays for myself. And while I'm doing it, I also create the outline that is the jumping point for my team on Monday. Each Monday morning, I review the following with my program director, assistant director, or whoever you have in the office manager. I go through, one is administrative. So what items could be in your administrative bucket? We are having a new door added, a new door handle, so door codes have to be created and go out. The second one is teachers. So we had to hire 2 more assistants, so that was on our teacher list. Also, my teacher list has list of employees who are 60 and 90 days. We hired, like I said, 14 new teachers, and I need to know 60 days in so I can provide them with the healthcare paperwork. If they want to sign up by 90 days, they can. So you see, this is what we're reviewing so that everyone knows, okay, this is what we got to get done. This is the focus for the week, right? In these areas. The third one is students. Do we have any concerns for students? Any students we're working on a plan for or want to brainstorm about? We have them there. Then we have the same thing with the parents. 5 is facilities, like anything going on in the center that we need to repair, fix, or if we're in the middle of an improvement. And 6 would be finances. So that would be anything with tuition, your bills, like whatever you want to talk about. Come up with what goals do you have? What's a little step you can take each week to achieve it? I sit there and I go through, I look at my bigger goals, right? What little steps can I take this week to move those forward? And then I put my other things on there under the categories. And then I create the same document. So it has, again, administrative, teachers, students, parents, facilities, and finance. And I go through that and put like what I got to get done this week. Realistic, like be realistic with yourself. Don't put this massive thing on there that you're not going to get done, but also put things on there and say right next to it, oh, I'm referring this to my program director. I'm referring this to my office manager. Or if you own multiple centers, like you're doing this with them as well. Like, and then each center gets their own, and maybe they're very similar so that they're running exactly how you want them. And of course, there'll be some tweaks under the teachers, students, and parents section, but for the most part, you guys could be on the same plan. So on Monday morning, I meet with the program director. And again, I have my things listed that I want done or move forward. And her and I go down the categories, and she has her list. So she knows what to expect. She wants things that she wants to get done. And so we go down the list of categories and we discuss each one and we decide who's getting assigned the task of it. Also, what we do here is when we're assigning tasks is that we talk about extras. So be strategic with your extras. If like every day you have 3 extras from 2 to 3, and sometimes I'll walk into centers that I consult with and the extra will come to the office and say, oh, I'm an extra. And the next thing you know, they're just like, oh yeah, go into infant, oh, go into preschool. But there's like why? Like obviously they could use an extra set of hands, totally get that. But if the room is functioning okay, could you take them and help them achieve some of these goals that you have? Or could you take the extra and put them into preschool and pull the preschool lead teacher out and give her a project to work on, and she then feels like she's getting valued and used in a different way and growing. And that's a huge thing you can do with retention. So while you're thinking of who can do this stuff, your extras. And some of you are going to say to me, I have no one to help me. I'm just in it by myself. I totally get that too. And maybe one of the things you can do is work to improve your finances and really focus on finances this year, so that maybe you can figure out ways to either cut costs or ways to increase your revenue by doing different things at your school. That can get you an extra person that you can delegate to and get you some stuff off your back. We talk about the goals, where she may need support. I ask her how I can help her achieve all of these things. We talk about locking ourselves in our offices to move the projects forward. I'm not even kidding you. We're like, all right, when are you locking yourself in your office? And you know what? We do it. If you can't get a day, start with 15 minutes. Once a month, you can schedule maybe a 3-hour block, but find time to do things to make this stuff better. It's only going to make your life better. And when I learned, it was because the executive needed to meet goals, because there were no excuses like where we worked. It was expected that we were going to make our financial goals. And it taught me not to let my team go without being held accountable for goals that I want done and how I want it done. And I know it might sound crazy to some, but it really works. Like recently, as we reward goals, as we were reviewing goals, I knew hiring was a massive priority. And one of the other items on the list that week from my program director was she wanted to go shopping at this art supply place that has like cool stuff, like recycling stuff. But we don't need it. We need the employees. We needed to hire 14. And I was like, every second of the day is going to be spent finding employees. That's all we're going to do all day. And I totally get why she wants to do that. She wants to create a really cool recycling area for the teachers to pull from. I love that idea. I'm so excited it's going to happen. But this conversation on Monday allows her and I to have that talk, so that she doesn't go spend half a day shopping. And we find the people, and we're not like, oh, I wish we'd been here that day. So it also allows opportunity for growth, because things come up. Like one of the things under our finance category a couple weeks ago was enrollment. We have, when we went down to half capacity, we have 20, 40, 60, 73 preschool and pre-K spots. And we had so many open, not more than half, but I think every room was at like 15 or something. We had a lot of spots. And that's my goal. I'm only working on marketing, like just talking about it as much as I can that we have openings. And then she said, I had this idea of taking these pictures on social media, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, that's awesome. And then I was like, do you want to do it, or do you want me to? And so I taught her how to do the post, made her an admin. And now she's growing in her position and learning a new skill and feeling excited about the job. It also just builds awesome communication for our leadership team and lots of opportunity to celebrate successes. If there's something on our list that we haven't been able to get done in a long time, recently was orientation. We all had to play a part in it, and we finally got it done. It's yay. So we all celebrate as a team. So how can you use the Monday morning meeting? You can, create one for you with your weekly to-do list under the categories that you want. Mine, again, are administration, teachers, students, parents, facilities, and finance. You might have something different. You might have multiple centers. You might have, I think you pretty much have what I have. You might have other categories, though, that are important to you. So come up with your categories and then make one for the team, and then just start filling them out. And when you map out what you're really going into the week doing and setting these mini goals, things get done and they get moved forward. And it also makes you a little bit more efficient when you do have goals and you have a deadline and you have to go talk to somebody like, oh, this is where I'm at with it. And what are you going to go every week, every Monday and say, oh, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. This holds your team accountable for things they want to do. It also gets exciting because we'll go down this list and even talk about crazy goals. Like, like we want to revamp the curriculum. That's not something you're just going to do in a day. We have to do research and then we have to figure out how we're going to implement it. That also brought up ideas of other things that we could be doing. And that was a great conversation too. And sometimes I feel like we don't spend the time as a leadership team. If you have leaders, like just sitting down and just talking about the categories. How do you think it's going? What do you think we could do to improve? And when you just have those conversations on the fly, they're not taken as seriously sometimes. They're not always executed. It's not equitable in how it's getting executed. So I think, that is helpful. Take a listen to podcast number 3. I found you 60 hours to get things done. I really did. And you're going to find out how you can find 60 hours this year to get things done with just 15 minutes. I think between that podcast and this podcast, you could really pull together your goals with your team and execute more things that you want to see changed at your childcare center. Get more organized, get that teacher retention plan you want in place, finally work on the facility, create an art show, like whatever it is that you have on your list of short-term goals. And while I do set my goals in January, you can set goals anytime. It doesn't matter. You can set goals and these are the next 3 things I want to achieve. And when you do it, reset your goals to something different. I want to thank you for listening to this episode today, the Monday morning meeting. Let me know in the comments if it's something you think that you're going to try, or if you're trying it, let me know how it's working. If you give the podcast a rating and let me know if these are topics that you're wanting to listen to, I want to make sure that I'm covering the things that you want. Let's connect. In the podcast descriptions, a link to my private Facebook group, Childcare Center Owners and Directors, or you can head over to my website at thedirectorsclub.net and we can connect there. There's many ways we can connect. There's also many resources for you there that you can try out. I want to thank you for listening today, and I hope you have a great week, and I'm cheering you on, and I can't wait to connect again. Thank you. Are you struggling to find qualified teachers for your childcare center? Or do you worry that current teachers might leave you? This message is for you then. As a fellow childcare center director, I know the stresses. Everyone's working longer hours, you're in the classroom more than the office, and COVID has changed a few things. And we all know we need to find help, and we just can't do it. My name's Noelle Dentino, and I have the retention recipe that you need. My digital course teaches best hiring and retention practices that anyone can implement. Learn to create the perfect job ad, market it, properly interview candidates, onboard them with success, and best of all, keep them on your team for years to come. My center in Massachusetts is proof. 75% of my team have been together for more than 9 years. Employee survey results have never been higher. And other directors in my area contact me to see if I have any candidates that I can't hire. The retention recipe works. Stop stressing and find your next great teacher. Go to theretentionrecipe.com and you can put your job ad up now. Mention coupon code podcast100 and get $100 off the digital course. I can't wait to help you hire your next great teacher.